Understanding penalties for smuggling and customs fraud. Welcome to our video on the hidden dangers of smuggling or customs fraud. In this video, we'll discuss the different types of penalties that you could face if you're caught smuggling or committing customs fraud. We'll also talk about some of the common myths about smuggling and customs fraud, and we'll give you some tips on how to avoid getting caught. Types of penalties. The penalties for smuggling or customs fraud can vary depending on the severity of the offense. However, some of the most common penalties include fines. If you're caught smuggling or committing customs fraud, you could be fined up to $250,000. Imprisonment. You could also be imprisoned for up to 20 years. Deportation. If you're not a U.S. citizen, you could be deported from the country. Loss of your property. If you're caught smuggling goods, you could lose the goods that you were trying to smuggle. Civil penalties. You could also be sued by the government for civil damages. Common myths. There are a number of myths about smuggling and customs fraud that you should be aware of. Some of the most common myths include: smuggling is only a problem for big businesses. This is not true. Smuggling is a problem for people of all income levels. In fact, many people who are caught smuggling are doing so to make a little extra money. Customs officials are only interested in catching drug smugglers. This is also not true. Customs officials are also interested in catching people who are smuggling other types of goods, such as counterfeit goods, weapons, and endangered species. If I'm caught smuggling, I can just pay a fine and go on my way. This is not true. If you're caught smuggling, you could face serious penalties, including fines, imprisonment, and deportation. If you're thinking about smuggling or committing customs fraud, you should think twice. The penalties for these offenses are severe, and you could end up ruining your life. Don't try to smuggle anything illegal. This includes drugs, weapons, counterfeit goods, and endangered species. Be honest with customs officials. If you're asked about what you're bringing into the country, tell the truth. Don't lie on your customs declaration form. If you're caught lying on your customs declaration form, you could be fined or even imprisoned. Don't try to bribe customs officials. Bribery is a serious crime, and you could be prosecuted if you're caught. Smuggling and customs fraud are serious offenses that can have serious consequences. If you're thinking about smuggling or committing customs fraud, you should think twice. The penalties for these offenses are severe, and you could end up ruining your life.